what is incumbent on the publishers to do to make sure that their inventory is transparent and involved in just human activity?
Yeah.
By the way, human activity. I mean, this is like Space Odyssey, you know? Whoever thought we'd be talking about humans and inhuman activity, but...
It's funny you say this. So I was at my son's baseball game yesterday, and I was sort of jotting down notes about what I would say today, and one of the other parents who's not in our business, what are you doing? I said, I've got this industry thing, and I start to explain this, and you should have seen his face. I mean, it was extraordinary. He was like, what kind of business do you guys run? Anyway, it's our business. We love it. Transparency. So look, I think that I'll take the perspective of a buyer, right? Someone who's spending money on ad inventory, right? First, viewable, right? And I think we as an industry are there. I know there's lots of hand-wringing. Well, there's been some hand-wringing about our definition of viewability. It's set. The industry collectively has come to its definition. There will be entities that may want to transact in a different way, maybe a higher standard, but to me, we have our viewability standard set. So that's great. I think the transparency needs to be that it's human traffic, right? Sort of basic. So not just viewable, but humans versus robots. I think there has to be transparency as to where the ad runs. I think a lot of businesses have gone behind the publisher doesn't want you to know that their inventory is here, so lots of things fall into the, URL not disclosed bucket. I think that's got to end, right? I think you've got to know where the ad runs. I think you have to have an assurance that it's on a brand safe page, that you understand the editorial adjacent content, right? I mean, I grew up in the print business. All we talked about were adjacencies between ad and editorial. It's the same thing here. It's not any different. And then I think price transparency. We heard this, when in a session we were at not too long ago, where a major marketer said, I'm not even sure what I'm paying for now, right? With all the markups and all the different players in the ecosystem, they can't get back to what did I actually pay for that impression? And I think that's important. I'll go beyond that and introduce that I think there needs to be a lot of transparency around data and what is so we use data to target advertising. And what mechanisms do we have to say, here's where the data came from, it was legally acquired, right? And it is in fact the audiences we say they're going to be, right? How do you know? Just because I've heard this in the ecosystem, it's like, we just run the ads, and you can never really verify whether or not it was, Fortune 1000 CEOs who like to play golf, right? And so you sit there and you go, what kind of transparency can we provide there? But let's talk, because I talked about buyers. You're part of one of the largest ad agencies in the world, one of the largest buyers and agent for clients in the world. What responsibility do agencies and buyers and clients have in this?
Well, it's a good question that we agreed you would ask. So but
I was just trying to remember the question.
But we're all in this together. This is not just the publishers. You have to get your shit together. It's not that at all. The buyers, the agencies, the advertisers, they all have to be a partner in this process. And it's an ugly fact, but it is a fact that fraud has been, is priced into the CPM right now when it's being sold. So depending on what the level of fraud is in any given set of impressions, you hear it's anywhere from 10 to 25 to 40%, depending on what source you're buying from. So if an advertiser's paying $1, and 40% of the impressions are fraudulent, you're talking about 60 cents CPM. I did it the wrong way. It's about 140% to buy just nothing but humans, right? So from the advertiser and agency's perspective, they have to realize that this whole problem creeped up on everybody. And now everybody is paying a lot of attention to it. And as a result, those advertisers and agencies are going to have to realize that because they've been paying $10 or $1 or $5 a thousand, that when it goes to a pure audience that everybody's certifying, they're going to have to pay more. No question about it. And it's going to be a gradual process. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to be tough, as I think Scott said, to get 100% here. But working together, we can get it from, whether it's 70% or 80%, whatever it is, per player. We'll continue to weed out the fraudsters, the criminals, and we'll get it very close to 100%. And pricing then will all be based on humans, which it is not today. Additionally, as you know, these robots are very, very smart, and they click on everything. They don't see an ad that they don't like. And the one thing they can't do, though, is they cannot buy. So when you think about conversion rates for campaigns that have been completed to actually move a product, those conversion rates are staying the same because those robots have never bought anything in their virtual lives. So at the same time, once we filter out all these little bots, click rates are going to go down. Just think a fact of the matter. And advertisers, agencies have to understand they're going down, and they can't be beating you up because you don't have enough clicks, because others that are not subscribing to the guidelines are still providing inhuman clicks, and as a result, the buy looks better. So they have to participate at that level, both from a pricing and from an expectation perspective, recognizing that overall the conversion rates are still staying the same. They're not changing. It's just going to be a different set of metrics. And that's why I'm excited about QUAG, because when you think about it, the advertisers now have brought this front and center. As you know, Group M has taken a role. They're actually advocating for perhaps some stronger guidelines than that which are in place, but they're fully supportive of the 3MS platform, effort overall. So once the advertisers say, hey, are you QUAG certified? Oh, you're not? Gee, I'm sorry. We're not going to be able to do business with you until you are. That will get everyone that wants to have pure activity, pure audience to offer to an advertiser involved in QUAG and certified so that we can make this problem go away in our industry.